Understanding economic growth, the Solow Model. Economic growth is crucial for improving life standards. This Solow model is fundamental economic theory. It helps us understand how this growth happens. The Solow model explains long-term economic growth. It focuses roles of economic labor and technology, demonstrate how they contribute to an economy's overall growth. It provides insights into how government policies can influence economic growth. Capital, the engine of production. Capital refers to tools, machinery, and infrastructure used in the production. It plays a vital role in economic growth. A larger capital stock allows workers to produce output. Think of a farmer with tractor. The tractor is capital and it allows farmer to cultivate more land and harvest more crops. Investment is crucial for increasing the capital stock. When businesses invest in new equipment or build factories, they are adding to the capital stock. This leads to increased production capacity and economic growth. Governments encourage investment through policies like tax breaks or subsidies. However, capital is subject to depreciation, machinery wears out, buildings destroyed, and technology becomes obsolete. To maintain steady level of capital, new investment must not only cover depreciation but also exceed it. This ensures a growing capital stock sustained economic growth. The relationship between capital and output is subject to diminishing returns. This means that each additional unit of capital leads to a smaller increase in output than previous unit. For example, adding a second tractor might significantly increase farmers' output. However, adding a 10th tractor to marginal improvement. Labor, the human factor. Labor represents the human input, the production process. It encompasses size, workforce, their skills, and their education. A larger, more skilled labor force contributes significantly to economic growth. Population growth is a key influencing size of labor force. A growing population can provide more workers, potentially increasing output. However, population growth must accompany job creation to realize these benefits. Otherwise, it can lead to unemployment and social unrest. Education and training play a crucial role in enhancing labor productivity. A skilled workforce is more efficient and produces output the same amount of capital. Investments in education and vocational training are therefore essential long-term growth. Government policies can significantly impact the quality and quantity of labor. Policies promoting education, healthcare, skill development can lead to more productive workforce. This in turn contributes to sustained economic growth. Technology, the catalyst for progress. Technology represents knowledge, techniques used in the production process. It encompasses in process improvements, existing technologies. Technological advancements allow users to output same amount of capital labor. Technological progress manifests various forms. It can manufacturing processes that reduces waste, software program that automates tasks, or scientific discovery that leads to new products. Each enhancement significantly impact economic growth. Innovation is the driving force behind technological progress. Research and development activities, both the private and public sectors, lead to new discoveries and technological advancements. Governments foster innovation through funding for research, intellectual property protection, and incentives for businesses to engage in R&D. Technological progress not only increases output but also improves quality of goods and services. It can lead to the creation of entirely new industries, providing new employment opportunities and driving economic growth. Section 5, Predicting Economic Growth. The Solow Model in action. The Solow model combines roles of capital, labor, and technology to explain economic growth. It argues that countries with higher rates of saving and investment tend to accumulate capital faster. This leads to higher levels of outputs per worker. The model predicts that economies will eventually reach a steady state. In this state, output per worker grows at the rate of technological progress. This implies long-term economic growth is ultimately by technological advancements, not just by accumulating more capital. The Solow model highlights importance of technological progress as key driver long-term economic growth. While capital accumulation is crucial short-term run, sustained growth in the long run requires continuous technological advancements. Understanding dynamics of the Solow model is essential for policymakers. It underscores the need to invest in R&D, promote innovation, and adapt to technological changes to foster sustainable economic growth. Section 6. Developed economies applying the Solow model. Developed economies like the United States, Japan generally have high levels of capital stock and skilled labor force. However, their growth rates tend to lower than the developing countries. The Solow model offers explanation for this phenomenon. According to this model, developed economies closer to steady state. They have accumulated a significant amount of capital and their labor force is relatively skilled. This means that further increases capital or labor diminishing returns. Therefore, the primary driver of growth in developed economies is technological progress. Investments in R&D, innovation, education are crucial for these countries to maintain standards and achieve sustainable economic growth. The Solow model suggests the policies promoting innovation, technological adoption are key developed economy. This includes investing in research, fostering a conducive environment, startups, and adapting regulations to encourage adoption of technological technologies. Section 7. Developing economies, a different perspective. Developing economies like India or Brazil have lower levels of capital stock and less skilled labor force compared to developed economies. They often experience higher rates of population growth. The Solow model offers different perspective on growth of these countries. Developing economies have significant potential growth through capital accumulation. As they invest in infrastructure, machinery, and education, their output per worker can increase significantly. This is known as catch-up growth. The Solow model suggests that developing economies can benefit from attracting foreign direct investment or FDI. FDI can provide access to capital, technology, and expertise, accelerating their economic growth. However, it's important to note that simply accumulating capital is not enough. A developing economies also need to invest in education and skill development to ensure their workforce can effectively utilize capital and the new capital. Section 8. Limitations of the Solow model. While the Solow model is a powerful tool for understanding economic growth, it has limitations. One key limitation is its assumption of exogenous technology progress. The model doesn't explain technological progress comes from or how to influence pace. The Solow model also doesn't explicitly factors like institutions, government policies, and income inequality. These factors can have a significant impact on countries' economic performance. For instance, corruption or political instability can deter investment and hinder growth, even with abundant capital. Furthermore, the model assumes a closed economy, meaning it doesn't consider international trade or capital flows. In reality, globalization has led to interconnected economies, and these interactions can significantly influence economic growth. Despite its limitations, the Solow model provides a valuable framework for understanding the fundamental drivers of economic growth. It highlights the importance of capital accumulation, labor productivity, and technological progress. Section 9. The Solow model and the UPSC aspirants. Understanding the Solow model is crucial for UPSC aspirants. It provides the foundation for analyzing economic growth. Key UPSC topic. Questions on India's growth, investment, and technology are common. The model helps understand economic policies like Make in India. It explains how policies boost capital, productivity, and innovation. The Solow model encourages in critical thinking about economic issues. Mastering it enhances understanding and success in the UPSC exam. Welcome to the chapter 10, Advanced Applications of the Solow model. In this section, we will delve into how the Solow model has evolved and is applied in modern economics. This includes its significant role in policy making and economic forecasting. Firstly, we will explore how governments use the Solow model to design and implement economic policies. By understanding the factors contributing to economic growth, capital, labor, and technological progress, policymakers can craft a strategy to enhance productivity and stimulate economic development. For instance, targeted investment in education and infrastructure can lead to long-term economic benefits, aligning with the principles outlined in the Solow model. Next, let's examine the use of Solow model in economic forecasting. Economists employ models to predict future growth trends and assess the potential impacts of various policy decisions. By analyzing historical data and projecting future scenarios, the Solow model provides valuable insights into the different economic strategies. To provide a comprehensive understanding, we will look at the case studies from both Indian and non-Indian contexts. In India, the Solow model has been instrumental in evaluating the success of initiatives like Digital India and Skill India, which aim to boost technological innovation and human capital development. These policies reflect the core principles of Solow model, emphasizing the importance of technology and education in driving economic growth. On the global stage, we will examine how countries like South Korea and Germany have utilized the Solow model to achieve remarkable economic progress. These nations have implemented policies that focus on enhancing productivity through technological advancements and efficient capital allocation, serving as excellent examples of models' practical applications. By understanding these advanced applications, we gain a deeper appreciation of the Solow model's relevance in today's economic landscape. It not only provides technology but also practical tools for analyzing and addressing real-world economic challenges. Stay tuned as we continue to explore profound impact of Solow model on modern economics and policy making. Welcome to chapter 11, Criticisms and Alternatives to the Solow model. While the Solow model has been a cornerstone of economic theory, it is not without its critics. In this chapter, we will discuss various criticisms of the Solow model and explore alternative models of economic growth. One primary criticism is that Solow model assumes that technological progress is exogenous, meaning it occurs independently of economic activities. Critics argue that this overlooks the role of innovation and research and development (R&D) driven by economic incentives. Renowned economist Paul Romer introduced the endogenous growth theory. This addresses limitations. Romer's model suggests that technological progress is a result of intentional actions by firms and individuals, emphasizing importance of policy measures that foster innovation and R&D. Another critique is the Solow model's assumption of closed economy with no international trade. In reality, economies are interconnected and global trade plays a significant role in economic growth. The new trade theory developed by economists like Paul Krugman offer an alternative perspective by incorporating effects of trade and economies of scale into growth models. This theory highlights how access larger markets and exchange of goods, services, and technologies can drive economic expansion. We will also examine the role of human capital in alternative growth models. The Solow model treats human capital as a part of labor, but models like human capital theory proposed by economists such as Gary Becker emphasize the distinct and critical role of education and skills in driving economic growth. This theory argues that investments in education and training yield substantial returns, leading to higher productivity and economic development. Real-world examples further illustrate these points. For instance, countries like Singapore and Finland have successfully implemented policies based on endogenous growth theory, human capital theory, focusing on innovation, education, and open trade to achieve sustained economic growth. These examples contrast with the Solow model's assumptions and demonstrate practical applicability of alternative growth theories. By understanding these criticisms and exploring alternative models, we gain more comprehensive view of economic growth dynamics. It becomes evident that while Solow model provides valuable insights, it is essential to consider other perspectives and approaches to fully grasp complexities of economic development. Join us as we delve deeper into the diverse landscape of economic growth theories, offering broader perspective on how nations can sustain economic prosperity.